through the suffering, life also hurt you. But then you've learned to heal yourself. And the way you've learned to heal yourself is what introduced you to the purpose in your life. And the purpose becomes a mission in your existence. And once you discover it, once you know what you've learned and you develop a deep desire to share this with others, you know, when you learn something incredible in your life, a part of you want to share this with others. You want to give what you've learned to others. This is a calling that you feel. And many people feel discouraged to do anything about it because of their mindset, because they think so limitedly about themselves. I hope you stay tuned to everything I have to share with you in this video, because it will help you to flow through everything that you feel right now. Enjoy, my friends. Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today I have a very important message for anyone who's feeling like you have to go through something. Like maybe for the whole of your life you've been feeling not fitting in and feeling kind of different, like so many things that are popular are just not for you, and suddenly you've been noticing that maybe everyone around you is succeeding faster than you, and everyone around you seems to be happier than you, and everyone around you is kind of figuring it out, and you're still maybe struggling, and you're still feeling lost, and you're still feeling confused, and you're still feeling like an incredible shift is happening within you, but it more feels like parts of you are just falling apart. Well, you need to understand that most of what you see around you is a facade. It's faking, it's not real, and you have to suffer. You see, life has a rule that through deepest suffering, you develop a muscle you never knew that it exists within you. In a society, something very interesting is happening. People are getting promises out of technology and all this technological evolution that things can happen easily without any effort. You can get access to any kind of a pleasure almost without any effort, which is decreasing the strength of this invisible muscle. And this invisible muscle is called really life force. It's called having a will to live. And to develop a will to live, you have to move through something very incredible, challenging, but also revealing, something that kinda unveils what lives within you, what you've brought into this existence. That's why you need to move through suffering. So I've named this video Why Chosen Ones Need to Suffer, as chosen ones term became quite popular on social media because so many people resonates with that. So many people feel, look, for the whole of my life I felt like I'm not fitting in, and I wonder why. Well, because most of the things around you are truly fake, and you can't really resonate with something that is not real. So you've started searching for bigger answers, you've started seeking clarity, which is one of the most powerful things you've done in your life. You've started seeking clarity in everything. And it's an endless process. You don't just realize something and then you're awakened and then you're like, your life starts completely turning around. You're constantly seeking clarity, more of it in everything. There are pieces of you. And every time you're just discovering more of yourself, like who can I be in relationships? Who can I be in embodying my purpose? Who can I be in loving life more? Like what's that me that loves life a little bit more? What's that mindset that I can have, you know? How can I talk to myself when life gets challenging so I will not become so emotionally overwhelmed? How can I talk to myself so I can see a greater value of myself. Like, the source of self-worth is self-talk, how you talk to yourself. And you may be noticing you're talking to yourself the same way as your parents were talking to you when you were little. And it's time to change. That's why you were not fitting in so much, because you knew that all these conversations that were happening around you are not really authentic. They're not real. They're not truthful. People are not saying truthful things to you. They were conditioning you because they've been conditioned, and you've awakened to such a degree that you can see through conditioning. But then you need to apply a certain methodology, certain skills that can help you to maintain this knowing. Because one thing is to know, the second one is to embody what you know, the third one is to stay consistent with the embodiment until it becomes a habit, until your truthful self, your authentic self, your blissful, magnificent self can become your nature. Because it's not just the gifts that we are carrying within the soul, the strengths, the qualities. They make us unique and special, but still, most of the time, they don't truly change our lives. It's also what we can learn, how much we can adapt, how much we can see a bigger picture, how much we can generate energy, how much we can adapt to any kind of situation, any kind of relationship, and learn to generate energy, to generate the energy of support, the energy of discipline, the energy of passion, the energy of consistency. You need to learn that you are a generator here. Your soul is a generator here. You're transmuting energy. You're channeling energy. But you need to learn to activate it by your own will. You have access to any kind of energy because you're not separated from the source. And if you're not separated from the source, it means that all kinds of energy is in access to you. But often your mindset is disconnecting you from higher energies. Your mindset is disconnecting you from your own willingness to use your will, to use your will to make a change, to stay consistent, to kind of push through hard moments. Because, you know, it's not hard when you feel more recharged, when you feel more balanced, when you feel more inspired, and when you feel more motivated. So at those days, it's not hard, it's easy. But recently, you've most probably felt that there's a lot of higher energy coming into this planet, and therefore this higher energy is also quite disturbing you, because there's still a lot of maybe traumas or stored energy present within your system, and all this new energy that's coming to the planet, the cosmic waves of light that are coming to the planet, are disturbing these suppressed dark pieces of yourself coming to the surface. And often you may be a bit more foggy, you may be a bit more overwhelmed, and you may be a bit more maybe chaotic, like unbalanced. And during these times, it's important that you know what is important to you. So the important things become important, and you stop distracting with less important. Because sometimes, for many people, what's important is peace or balance, and they are distracting themselves with TikToks and other social media. So once you really keep integrity going with what you're prioritizing, staying true to yourself, you will learn to generate energy. During this time, it's also more important to detox yourself, detox your body, detox yourself from social media, and especially detox yourself from constant distraction from yourself and seeking answers somewhere else. Studying is important, but studying and distraction with new information is a huge difference, because studying is intentional, right? Studying means that you wake up maybe 1 hour earlier just so you can read that book, or that you can make that course, and you can train your energy, or you can train certain habits, or you can practice what you're building, or managing your life, building a business, taking care of your finances, learning these skills you can use in your life. This is studying. But distraction is that every time you feel bored, you open up a YouTube and you start searching for new information that could maybe feed up your mind a little bit more. It's causing a huge distraction because you don't see things clearly anymore. You don't see who you are, who you can become, who you are becoming, who you could be. One important thing that happens to many people who are waking up right now is that at some point you don't want to be alone anymore. And often we're talking about that, how important it is to go on that solo path for your awakening, for managing this deep sense of calling that you feel within and doing something about it. But then when you awaken to a degree where you recognize what it is, then a part of your soul feels it's important to contribute to society. That's the only way we can raise the energy. That's the only way we can be a leader. We can lead others with what we've discovered in ourselves. So when you notice what broken you, you've started seeking healing. And when you found healing, when you've healed yourself, the way you've healed yourself becomes a part of your purpose. That's when you discover why you need to suffer, why you need to go through suffering in your life. Because the way you heal yourself from suffering is what you can provide and contribute to others, because so many people are going through what you're going through. And then comes the self-doubt. I'm not good enough in that. I'm not capable of that. I'm not smart enough. I don't have the right skills and knowledge, which comes to the mindset, how you're talking to yourself, right? You need to learn to build a new mindset. That's why you need to seek clarity for who you can be. Look, if you want to help others, firstly, you need to know how someone who is helping others is talking to himself or herself. That's why learning from others is so important. See, there's so many leaders out there that can help you, that can guide you. Find them and learn from them. You will see if you actually exchange constant distraction with more learning from those you admire, you will notice that you will start growing so much more. But then you have an inner mentor as well. Your inner mentor is present in your deepest quietness. And for different people, it works different ways. Like for me, sometimes I need 1 hour of quietness, 1 hour of meditation, intense meditation, that I will come into connection with it and I can hear my inner compass clearly. I can know, I can sense, I can hear what I need to do. And every time I'm quite surprised how much I was pulled away from my track, even though I feel I am quite connected with it. Every time I connect with my inner guide, I'm quite surprised how much I still felt a bit disconnected from my main path. And that's why it's so important to really connect with your inner mentor frequently, especially right now, because it will help you to navigate yourself through these intense energies, intense times. And it will help you to learn to generate energy, because every time you will get in contact with it, you will know, you will just feel lighter. You will feel like you're not really being your old self, you're being this guide. And actually the purpose of all this process is that you embody this guide. This is your higher self. This is your wisest self you're becoming. And one part of the process is truly just slowly ditching the conditioning part of yourself and embodying more of the truth that comes through this guidance. And therefore you need to raise certain necessity for this work. You can't just see life same way as before. You need to set certain goals for yourself. You need to decide, this is what I'm building and this is what is necessary for me to do that. Because certain skills require more time. Like so many of you feel so deeply called to help others, But then to build maybe a social media account where you can start sharing your knowledge and everything you've learned becomes quite challenging. And then growing it becomes again challenging. And then keeping up when you see no growth becomes challenging again, and then you may start doubting yourself. So another part to this process is how you talk to yourself when nothing works, when it seems like nothing works. It's another part where you need to access your inner genius and develop a certain conversation with yourself. Like having a tool that helps you to stay motivated and most importantly aligned with yourself. And I can tell you what works. Developing certain affirmation or certain word. To me, what works the most when I see no progress and I want to make certain progress is to stop blaming myself, to stop doubting myself. Because as soon as I catch myself, oh, I've been blaming myself, or I've been speaking certain limiting thoughts to myself, when I stop doing that, I immediately feel inspired. I immediately feel aligned once again. So usually it's more about removing what is pulling us away from alignment, letting go of what is feeling us blocked and stored, and we will feel aligned once again. But for many of you, it may be you may be so used to have this kind of a language towards yourself that is blocking you and lowering your self-esteem, lowering your confidence, that you may think it's your character. You may think it's your personality, but it's not. It's conditioning. Your nature truly is a bliss, and many times you experience it in certain spiritual practices. That's why many of you may even attach yourself to certain spiritual practices, and you may think that only when you're doing it you're thriving, which is also not true. When you're doing it, you get access to something that always lives within you. And then in your daily life, you need to learn to tap into it without some long processes. It's again a skill. When your brain develops a pattern to connect with something deep within you, with that inner wisdom, inner compass, or inner knowing, however you call it. Anytime in your daily life, by will, you can choose to awaken this part of you that will raise a sense of confidence. But sometimes words can be a great activation. Saying to yourself, well, I can do it. Even if I don't feel confident right now, I can do it. I believe in myself. I don't need no validation from someone. Nobody needs to say anything to me for me to believe in myself. And those are the things you need to develop, right? And then you need to increase productivity out of it. Because maybe you've been trained in the past to be lazy. Maybe because nothing moves. But this new energy requires from you to really be productive with it. Because nature is productive 24/7. It's constantly productive. That's why it has seasons. So there are seasons where it's less productive and it's slower, like winter. And then it starts growing faster and everything. It seems like, when in March, for example, on Northern Hemisphere, we experience this incredible growth and blooming, and so many colors come to the surface, and it just feels like out of nowhere everything started emerging, right? So we need to learn to increase our productivity as well, especially at this time right now. Like, how can you be more productive with what you love to do, with what you feel passionate about, with, your past truly introduced you to your purpose. But you need to see that, reflect on that, journal about it, meditate about it. But I know many of you have already found it. That's why you needed to suffer. And you need to suffer. Suffering is a constant part of life. Every time, at every phase, it will be present in your life. Like when you will be building a business, you will suffer because it's not growing. Or you will suffer because the lack of money, or you will suffer because somebody said something mean to you, or you will suffer because you will feel like so many people are against you, and so on. But it's this inner muscle that you develop so you can move through it, because at the same time there's also so much support coming in. There's also so much growth happening. There's also so much change happening. So your major focus needs to be being observant of the growth that's happening and not attaching yourself on the suffering. Because you will see that every time you start focusing more on what is growing, you will see less and less and less of what's really falling apart. And that's where you make a huge shift in yourself. So it's a constant development, constant changing of your approach, of your mindset, of your experience. And that's where you develop a great influence. Many people will be and are already influenced by you. But at the same time, you also need to find ways how to influence people around you. Like, what are the patterns that maybe you're using in social life and how to upgrade them? How to become even more truthful, even more inspiring, even more authentic, even more whatever you feel deep inside that you can be. Sometimes when you interact with people from your old life, old fears may come up, and you need to learn to deal with that, feel it, and be a new version of yourself. And that's, again, challenging, and many people maybe see it as a source of suffering. But that's, you can learn to be a great support to yourself and catch this self-talk that you have every time it starts happening. Like, if you become a storm to your old patterns, you will notice that the only way to change them is to break them, to do what you feel really scared of doing, and try to be just more conscious there. Try to be just more aware there. And that's how you start demonstrating courage. Demonstrating courage is one of the most important things you are starting to do. Because courage truly is not an act or occasional act, but a trait of choice and will. So it becomes another habit by choice. Like, right now I'm demonstrating courage because it needs to be done. Even though I may feel discouraged, sometimes before I start making these videos, I feel anxious. I feel like, will this go well today? Do I have something to say? But then I demonstrate courage. I show up and I do the work, and, flow just starts streaming through me. And things just happen. That's why my videos are between 20 and 30 minutes and sometimes even longer, because it's just flowing. So this flow moves through you as well, but you have to demonstrate courage in your life. My friends, I hope you found great value in today's video. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. Till next time, one love. Hey my friends, I hope you've enjoyed in today's video. I want to remind you that we've just opened a fresh new store called AttractPassion.com, where you can find all of my work. Original paintings, you can find prints of all of my art in different sizes, so go there and check it out, AttractPassion.com. If you will use the code PASSION15, you will get 15 off onto your first order. So go there and check it out. And to anyone who would love to work with me one-on-one, I'm offering one-on-one coaching. We have some free spots once again. You can go and check out the link in the description of this video, where you can find everything there. So go and check it out. If you would like to do something with the inspiration that you feel right now, it will help you so much to transform your life. I want you to do something with it. If you feel inspired, you have to do something with it. So my friends, till next time, one love.